Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Really, how are ya? My name is Kirsty, and this is episode 7 of Is It Expired? Let's Shop My Stash. Here is my disclaimer to not use expired makeup. I'm well aware of what the consequences can look like. I know that I can get a breakout or a rash or even pink eye, but I'm taking that risk. I don't recommend that you do. The point of this project is to get reintroduced to some of my older products I've been collecting for over 10 years and seeing if I can continue to use them or if it's time to throw them in the trash. With that being said, let's look at the 5 products that the random number generator picked for us last week, and then we'll move on to this week where I turned into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I'm not mad about it. I'm really digging the vibe here. It's just not really what I was expecting. Which is fine. That's just kind of how my life goes anyway. So, let's go into the past. Alright, moving on to last week. First thing here was the Morphe Clear Brow Gel. I do actually use this one quite regularly. I don't love it. It's not very old. I mean, it doesn't smell great, but it's brow gel, so it's probably not supposed to smell like vanilla or cinnamon. And it's almost done. So I'm just going to keep that in my collection until it is gone. I think it's maybe a year or two old. I'm just going to use it up and get rid of it. Next, I do believe these lip liners are the oldest things I have in my collection. These came in my makeup kit when I went to school 12 years ago. This is the Vino lip liner from Ben Nye. I used it for the whole week and I had no issues. It still sharpens beautifully, it's smooth, it's silky, and it works lovely. Not a color I use that often because it is a deep wine color, but I'm going to keep it because I really did enjoy using it for the week, and maybe one day I'll just use it up. Or it'll dry out, in which case it'll be time to go. We'll see what comes first. Next. So the next item was the NARS Rikugian Satin Lip Pencil. Really shove that on there. I did sharpen this a couple times so that it's actually quite teeny tiny now, and I think I'm going to be able to finish it in the future. This is old. I want to say this is 8 or 9 years old. It still works though. It, again, smooth, beautiful, no tugging or pulling, and I had no issues with it, so I'm going to keep that in my collection and see if I can use it up and get it on out. Alright, next product was the Revolution Soph X highlighter palette. This is, a few years old. I want to say probably 4 or 5, but I don't really have that much use on it, and it's a powder product, so I have no issues with keeping it around. I enjoyed using it for the week, and I'm going to put it back in its home and hopefully get some more use out of it in the future before I have to get rid of it. Last. Alright, the last thing here, this actually was a brand new purchase this year, so I did get it in 2023. These are just Nomad Cosmetics single shadows, and the generator picked specifically Jaguar, so that's this beautiful orange here. I don't think I swatched this last week, so I'm going to do that. Woo! Whoa, it's very orange. Whoa. Like, they are beautiful. They're so bold. They're so easy to blend. And now I am a disaster, which is my life. But I loved using that. I did really enjoy using that product for the week and this palette in general. So I'm just going to put this back in its home and remember that I have it and play with these singles more often because they are stunning, and I really just beautiful formula. So that was last week. Let's bring it on back to what we are playing with this week. I started thinking about why I have an S Club 7 song in my head, but it's the Bring It All Back song. Bring it all back. Bring it on back. To be in your 30s and still have S Club 7 stuck in your head. It's weird what the brain keeps. Moving on. First product from this week is the 420 palette from Melt Cosmetics. I have a shame of this one. Shame, shame. I had never used this. It's beautiful. I had literally never even touched it before today. I did get this year, so I did get it in 2023. It's obviously not old, but I am incredibly excited that it was pulled for this project because I haven't used it. So I get to have some use out of this. I really enjoyed it. There is only one shimmer in here, and I didn't actually use that one today, which is this guy. Got one there. And since I didn't use him, oh, maybe I should probably use that with the finger that didn't have the other swatch, but whatever. So I did wipe off the Nomad swatch a little bit, just with a towel. Obviously, I didn't wash it off. It's a little bit of a stain there. But this is the Melt one with the shimmer, and it is beautiful, so I am excited to use that later on this week. And I like this palette. I do. I'm kind of mad at myself that I haven't used it before, but it's going to be a good week, so I guess that's all that matters, right? Moving on out. Rolling with the homies. Next, I have these 10 blush palette from Coastal Scents. I got this right before Coastal Scents shut down, and I think they shut down in 2022, so I got this either very early 2022 or very late 2021. Surprisingly new for it being Coastal Scents. They did reach out to me, and they did send me some PR. This was not part of it, but it got me reinterested in the brand, so I went in and I did my own purchase while they were sending me PR because I wanted to try an array of things, and then like 4 months later they went out of business. And I was really sad. I actually really enjoy Coastal Scents. I think the vision was really interesting, and I think they were going in a good direction, so I'm really bummed that they ended up going out of business. I really like this. I do have this one and the Blush 2 palette, which is more unique shades. This is a very neutral This is a very neutral blush palette, so it's super easy for me to use with that eyeshadow palette because I can really make it work. It's not going to be a weird contrast, and I love that. So I'm excited to use this. It's really beautiful. It's pigmented. It's easy to blend. It doesn't look like too much, and I really love that. So I'm excited to use this for the week because I have barely touched this one. I usually do gravitate towards the more unique colors. There's like a bright orange and a purple in there, and that's kind of more my vibe, but this will be fun for the week, and I think it'll reintroduce me to this palette in particular so that I come back to her, and I love her more, because she deserves to be loved. There is just stuff everywhere. Alright, next, I do have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This has to be 8 years old, and it's because it's my least favorite of the photo finish primers. There's like 6 or 7 different types you can get, and I'm not a big fan of this one because my skin is incredibly dry. So even utilizing it now, I'm kind of only using it around my T-zone, and then I'm using something a lot more hydrating around the rest of my face. So I am going to try and use this up. It still works fine. There's no weirdness. Like it still blends in beautifully. There's no weird texture. Sorry, my hands are really dry, so that's actually just dead skin. That's not the product, that's just my skin. Because I probably should have thought of that before I started swatching on my hand. But I have no issues with this. I do utilize it here and there anyway, so I'm hoping that I can just get rid of it because it is getting there. I definitely do have some use on it, and I would love to just use this up and get rid of it that way. So I'm going to try and do that. Next. I'm waiting for me to light my hair on fire. Keep that away. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be moving it as soon as I'm done filming. It's just for aesthetic purposes anyway, as long as I don't light myself on fire. We'll see. This is actually a fun one that but I don't know where I'm going to swatch because I'm running out of room on my arm. This is a fun one. So this is the Glam Wretched Romance Purple Eyeliner. This came in a set of 5. I don't remember if they sold them individually. I got the entire Halloween set. I do believe it was 2021 that these came out. They are really pretty. I do have it here. It's like a medium purple, like a grape color. It really is. It's drying out a little bit, so I think I'm just going to use it this week, and I'll likely just be able to declutter it, call it an empty at that point, whatever I want to do, because they're quite tiny. And now it's gone. Because he's just a little baby anyway, so you're not going to get a whole ton of use out of these. They are eventually going to dry up, so I'm going to try and get as much as I can in this week. And then honestly, it's probably going to be time to bury him. And I'm sorry, I do really like these. They're kind of fun. They don't smudge or budge or anything. Like, they actually work really well. They're really pretty. It's starting to dry out, which is fair. It's like a little over 2 years old, and it's a liquid eyeliner. So, sorry, I just went on a whole rant about Raphael Ninja Turtle. He's red. I know my Ninja Turtles. I've lost my mind. This eyeliner has turned me into Donatello. And I love it. Love the vibe, but I was more of a Michelangelo girl myself. Donnie was kind of the nerd, right? He was kind of the smart turtle, which, I mean, weird concept, but yeah, I've turned into Donatello. And I'll be Donnie for the week. It's fine. Cool. All right, moving on. Last. I got a bunch of these when I worked at Sephora. I literally have 2 of this exact one, so I am kind of excited to get a little use out of it. This is the Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Intense Mini. He's a baby in the shade of 42. I did sheer it out a lot today because I thought with the green and the purple, I mean, that would just be a lot going on. Too much. So I did sheer it out a lot, but it's beautiful. It's a stunning color, and I know that. It is 8 or 9 years old, but it's still, I'm always here to swatch these mini ones because they don't really have a lot of strength to them because they're so tiny. Yeah, like still creamy, still gorgeous. There's no pulling or tugging, and it's beautiful. It really is. So I don't wear a red lobster. Ooh, now I'm hungry. I don't wear a red lip that much, so I am excited to kind of play with it a little bit this week. Maybe utilize more of those neutral colors when I want to do like a big, bad, bold lip. Do the bad bitch look. But, yes, so I will be excited to use this, and there's no issue with it. There's like a faint perfume smell, and I feel like all Makeup Forever lipsticks have that, and it's still there. There's no plastic smell, there's no crayon smell, so it's fine. I'm fine with it. I'm gonna keep using it. One of these days, something bad's gonna happen. There has to be consequences for me testing these limits, but again, those are my consequences to bear. And I will when we get there. Alright, so that's this week's products that I've got on my face, and I'm really excited to use those for this week. I think they're going to be a lot of fun, and it's a lot of color, and I love that. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to mix and match and play with color, so this is definitely my vibe of a week here. So I'm going to enjoy playing with these, and we're going to see what happens. But that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful journey in your life, and I will see you next week.